We run into a bit of a problem, and I have kind of Frankensteined it together. And because I have no battery, I cannot. Hey everyone, Monkey Wrench Mike back with another video on my super cheap 2000 Jaguar S-Type. And as you can see, the trunk is open because once again, this Jag has left me stranded. Believe it or not, the radio is the problem. This is a weak spot on the first series Jaguar S-Type. This radio actually stays on for about 45 seconds and then it's supposed to turn itself off. I guess that's, you know, if you want to park somewhere, you want to make out with somebody, whatever, you'll have a radio to do so for about 45 minutes. Then it will turn itself off. The problem is that it stops turning itself off and it drains the battery. Each and every day I come out here, try to start the car, and as you can see, I got nothing. She is completely dead. So the easiest solution is to remove the radio and fit in an aftermarket stereo system. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And because this car was so inexpensive, I'm using a super inexpensive radio. I'll show you which one coming up in just a moment. But first, to remove this whole piece has to come out. You have a little trim piece here, you have a trim piece here, one along the bottom. They simply pop out. Then you have a 10 mil, a 10 mil, a 10 mil, a 10 mil. They all unscrew and this all comes out. To remove everything from the back, you have to be able to put this into drive. And because I have no battery, I cannot put this into drive to get this radio unit out. Fortunately, I have a new jump starter that I want to tell you all about. It is by Yesper. It's called the X1. It's a jump starter / flashlight / tire pump. This is what the box looks like. The Yesper X1 is a jump starter, air compressor, and flashlight. It looks like this. I think it is very, very cool. And the company tells me this will start a 8-liter gas vehicle and a 6-liter diesel vehicle, all because of lithium power. The Yesper X1 multi-purpose vehicle jump starter is suitable for cars, motorcycles, SUVs, trucks, cargo vans, ATVs, snowmobiles, yachts, and much, much more. The X1 is constructed of all-metal, heavy-duty clamps to prevent breakage caused by long-term use, and it has 10 protections like overcharge, overcurrent, short circuit, reverse polarity, low temperature, high temperature, overvoltage, overload, spark-proof, and reverse charge, making it safe for anyone to use even in extreme environments from -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The air pump is safe for all kinds of inflatables, and it will pump up tires to 150 psi. Plus, it will inflate a tire to 30 to 36 psi in less than a minute. And there you go. That is the Yesper X1 tire inflator, jump starter, even a flashlight. If you want to get some more information on this, check the description box below. It is portable, it is powerful, and it is very dependable. Now let's get to work on the Jag. Now that the car is running, we can put this into drive, which is getting harder and harder to do thanks to the Jaguar technology in the J-gate right here. And then this whole unit will slide all the way out. I suggest putting something right here to kind of protect your interior. This is just an old dirty rag. You can also unscrew this, but this is back as far as you need to go. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connectors on the back, plus the radio antenna, and this thing just simply comes out just like this. It's hard to do with one arm because this thing is heavy. I mean, this is a great big old piece of equipment. And on the back side, you can see right here, there's your connectors, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 at the bottom, and your antenna goes right there. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's take the old radio out, put in our cheap one, and see what happens. Here's what everything looks like with everything removed, and I've decided to do some patchwork on the center console itself. I'll show you that in just a second. We run into a bit of a problem with the radio because you remove this, like you have seen, as one huge unit. Okay, so the radio itself is actually right here, and the one that I purchased, it doesn't fit. You don't get a whole bunch of holes along the side to plug in to this piece right here. And when I do it sticks out and it's too tall for the unit. It actually comes up about ½ an inch too high right here using the holes. And I can't put new holes in the side of a radio because there's no place for the bolt to screw. You know what I'm talking about? This is like a 3mm bolt right here as well. So I thought I would stop by a car stereo place here in town, and I got a quote, and it is for the cheapest radio they have. The radio itself was a decent unit. It's $199. Then you have $20 for the wiring unit. And this is kind of a generic one. This is what someone told me it would fit. It does not. It doesn't fit any of the pieces. I need a 70-1776. Okay? I can get that for 20 bucks, and then it's $225 for the installation. So all in, it's like $450. Yeah, 450 bucks on a car that I spent. How much was this? 800? Half of the price of the car for a stereo. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to be able to use a radio. I don't want it to drain the battery every time I leave the car parked. That's the problem. So if you are a Jaguar S-Type expert, you know, if I can cut a wire or something. I've done a lot of research. I haven't found a fix with the same OEM radio. I haven't found a way to fix that. So if you know of something, please contact me. We'll put the email address right here, monkeywrenchmike123@gmail.com. Yeah, contact me and let me know what to do with that, because I need to sell this fast. They also couldn't even get it in for like 2 weeks. It's a very, very busy place. Now let me show you what the center console looks like. This is the top, which is fine. There's no issue with this at all, okay? It's just that everything underneath is brittle plastic. Okay, so here's the center console, and I have kind of Frankensteined it together. I got the radio going, or Pandora is on right now. I'm sorry if you can hear that, but look at that. You touch this, you literally touch this, and it just breaks in your hand. And so when you put any weight on this, it breaks. So I have kind of Frankensteined this. I have Frankensteined this right here, and this right here. This part is broken. Another piece is chipped here, piece is chipped here, and it is just, it's a pain in the rear. I mean, it absolutely is. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this like it is. Hopefully this JB Weld will hold it together a little more firmly than the plastic itself. And see, I've already fixed that piece right there because that cracked. This Jaguar is driving me cuckoo. We're gonna get it all together, and then we're gonna take it down to AAR HQ, because I got to figure out why the burglar alarm comes on every time I open the door. It's crazy. Okay, we have the center console. This is another problem with the car. This has been driving me crazy. The alarm just goes off whenever it wants to, so that's fantastic. I love it. That's the best ever. I just wanted to show you that we have the center console reinstalled. The seat fortunately hides all the Frankenstein parts, but that looks really good. It really does. I still got to put the tabs on the radio, and by the way, I'm just going to see if we can sell the car with this radio, because the other one did not fit at all. It was a cheap little $39 Boss radio from Walmart. It didn't have all the adjustable holes on the side of it like a lot of them do, so you can adjust them to get the right height within your car. And I'm mad at the car. I hate to say that, but I really am. I'm really upset with the car, so I'm just going to sell it. I can't take it anymore. What we need to do is look at a problem to ground, okay? Something on the... I took this car down to AAR HQ, Randy's place, and we read the codes, and it said a faulty ground on the door module, driver's door module, the DDM. So we got to take off the door panel and check the grounding of that unit right there, which maybe has something to do with why the alarm goes off when I open the door. If I lock it with the key and unlock it, I'm fine. But if I just leave it for like 30 minutes, an hour, and open the door, the alarm goes off all the time. And that's one of the reasons that Mom and Tom didn't get this car. It's not worthy to be in their driveway. It's a junker. So we got 2 screws here And I've got this little piece right here that kind of comes out. Okay, there's not a screw back here. There's two here, and then this whole thing is just going to pop off. The driver's door module lies right there. So let me show you what it looks like. Well, we checked for ground, and we do have good ground on the DDM, which is that right there. Let me open the door, and I'll show you a little better. It's like 20 degrees outside. No, it's actually like 30 something, but it's just really, really cold. That's your driver's door module. So what I need to do now is see if I can get in to this and check the ground again. Okay, I also want to see if my All-Tell will get into the DSC module. I've read that I may have to reprogram that. That could be a problem, and that could be why that is illuminated. Like there's no ABS lights or anything else on. So I've been doing a lot of research on this stupid car, and I think I have to reprogram the DSC. So we'll see just how smart this Smart Evolution Maxi Sys Elite is and see if we can reprogram it. So stay tuned. We have cleared the codes. There were a couple of codes in the driver's door module, like a short circuit to ground. But then I cleared them and I ran it again, and then I've opened the door 3 or 4 times. That has not come back. Now I'm kind of into the instrument cluster, and I have a passive anti-theft system, transceiver module signal not received. That's because it's been removed. The previous owner removed that, and you can do that and it's not a problem. Now I'm getting a J1850 communication bus fault. So we're going to have to do some investigation into that right there and see what it is. Let's see if I can clear these. Okay, so let's try to read them again. No trouble codes. Read the trouble codes. No trouble codes. Well, look what's not flashing. Wait, what's going on now? And now it's back. I guess it took a minute to try to read the codes. There's no codes. The weird thing is my seat belt. There's no, well, now is it on? Is it working now? That used to not work. Let's see if it goes off now. See? Huh. Well, that's come back now. So that's good news. When I'm not wearing my seatbelt, it will let me know. Seatbelt off. I just cannot get into the DSC system or the ABC system. Somebody's made some magic happen. Look at that. What we did the yaw rate lateral acceleration calibration. I had to go in like this was a Ford / Lincoln / LS / V6 / 2000. Work my way into here, and then I've reset the yaw rate, which I read could have an impact on the DSC. So I've reset it, and it's off. Holy crapacola. I think I fixed something finally in this stupid car. I think I did. All right, that is going to do it, I think, for the little scanner. We've cleared it. Everything is fine. I mean, the car's off right now. The weird thing is the seatbelt light sometimes is illuminated and sometimes it's not. I don't know why. I don't know. I just don't know. So what we're going to do is put the door card back on here, the door panel. We'll put it on, get it all buttoned up. We'll clean out the interior of the car. I've already washed it and everything. I do have to address there's a crack. I've been using this as a kind of a noise suppression system right here because of the cracks. We'll try to address those things so the front dash doesn't rattle too much. This is just the right size to keep it quiet. And then we're going to say so long to this crazy car. So I think that's going to do it for this video. Once again, please go check out that very cool jump starter / air tire inflator / flashlight. It is really cool. Once again, we have information in the description box below. Low mileage Jaguar 2000 S-Type. Almost everything works. except for the alarm that goes off every once in a while, and the radio that can, on occasion, drain the battery. Other than that, she's a fantastic car. So we're going to say so long to the Jag, we're going to say so long to this video, and we'll see you in another video very, very soon. All right, everybody, have a great day. We're back with another car, and as you can see, we brought out the 420 SEL, and maybe even more importantly, we are working on the Dodge. Yep, my pick-em-up truck is going to return to the channel in great fashion. Absolutely. Okay, so we'll see ya. Bye-bye.